Our next presentation is Greensense Farms. The focus for Greensense is in transforming farming and produce distribution by growing leafy greens in stacking vertical towers, 365 days a year. Here's Greensense Farms.
I'm Robert Colangelo, founding farmer and CEO of Greensense Farms. People are much more conscientious about the food they eat, and I came across an idea that we perfected through 4 years of R&D and then built it into a large-scale commercial farm. Greensense Farms is the largest indoor vertical farm. We grow leafy green vegetables 24/7 and harvest 365 days a year. We see this as a way to sustainably grow food locally, making communities healthier. Vertical farming is a process in which we grow in stacking hydroponic tubs 24 feet tall in a room where we control the total environment. The plants get perfect conditions every day and they grow consistently year-round, independent of the weather, and that allows us to put these farms anywhere. We're constantly looking for ways to improve efficiency and reduce our use of energy. Any water that is not uptaken by the plants, it gets recycled. We also have automation controls and sensors so that we can grow very analytically.
Our goal here at Greensense Farms is to go from harvest to the market in less than 24 hours. As a customer, one of the advantages you'll see right away is that we leave the roots intact on the puck. So when we ship it that way, it really increases shelf life. Typically, we can grow crops at least 50% faster. Because our ultimate goal here at Greensense Farms is to be sustainable and profitable, and we get to do that by having a happy work environment, because I really take a pride in what we're doing here.
We're building farms globally. We've just opened our first farm in China. We're transforming farming and how produce is distributed, and you're part of that once you're an investor. Phase one is to build a network of farms to build a brand that's nationally known and locally grown. When you invest in Greensense Farms, you're going to help fund our R&D efforts so that we can constantly improve the way we grow. You'll also fund our pre-development activities. We have 10 farms in the pipeline, as well as a small amount will go to operations. The first thing you can do if you really want to experience Greensense Farms is to buy our local produce. It's healthy, it's nutritious, and it'll improve your lifestyle. The second thing is come work for us and be part of this great company we're building. And lastly, come invest in us and share in our success and be part of our growth.
And with us now is Robert Colangelo, founding farmer and CEO. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. So tell us how, we saw a little bit about how what you do is faster. Can you help us understand how what you're doing is more cost efficient than kind of the traditional farming?
Traditional farming has many risks. They have pests, they have animals, they have invasive species, they have weather. We've taken all that risk out of farming by bringing it indoors and creating a controlled indoor environment. So by taking and eliminating the risks, we've made it much simpler and therefore much more efficient.
Amazing.
And we actually have a viewer question, which I love this question because I love anything related to money. This viewer wants to know, does the price of your indoor greens then differ from outdoor grown greens?
We price ours under organic, but higher than traditional produce. And we're locally grown. And being in Indiana, where our first harvest was 40 below zero, it's hard to be locally grown year-round. So people will pay a premium price for our product because it's pesticide-free, herbicide-free, GMO-free, and it's always locally grown and fresh.
And speaking of fresh, I mean, you really do deliver this product fresh. So what methods are you using to make sure that happens?
First, we try to deliver it local so that it doesn't have to travel large distances. When you think about it, lettuce and leafy greens are mainly water. So shipping water from California to Chicago or New York is pretty inefficient. Our model calls for putting these farms at the point of consumption and distribution, putting them at grocery store distribution centers so we can grow all day, harvest in the morning, have it in the truck in the morning, and it goes right to the store. It's always fresh. Or point of consumption, hospitals, college and corporate campuses, military bases, and food processing centers. So not only do we have a transformative technology that's changing farming, but our business model is disruptive because we can put these high volume, year-round production centers right at that point of consumption.
So it sounds like it's really a short window then from like delivering the product. It's like what, 24 hours or less?
That's our goal.
Okay.
Typically produce is taking days to get from the farm to the table. Our goal is less than 24 hours.
Interesting.
Amazing. Hey, can this vertical farming, can it be used for things other than leafy greens? I know you say you focus on that.
Our farm is highly engineered to grow leafy greens fast and hard all day long, consistently, and at a high level of quality. Our long-range goal is to grow plant proteins that can be synthesized into vaccines and medicines.
Oh, wow.
Our farming process is highly technical. It's all automated, it's censored, and data is collected, so we grow very analytically. And we think that the highest and best use for that farming is really for the biopharmaceutical industry.
Wow, and you have a business plan set up just to attack that?
Yes, we do.
How great. That's
To get them on
fantastic.
again for that one.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Right. So is there anything else that gives you a leg up in the cost benefit versus other farming techniques? I mean, you mentioned some. Is there any other things that are key?
It's our LED lights. When we first started, we used fluorescent lights. And with fluorescent lights, they give off a lot of heat. So we had to space the levels far apart, else it would burn the plants.
Right.
When we used LED lights, we can shorten that distance so we get much higher densities. And the LEDs produce a lot less heat. So we climate control the room with air conditioners and dehumidifiers. So we use a lot less energy to climate control and a lot less energy to burn the lights. Our next phase is to go with solar panels and geothermal heat pumps. Our goal is to be at zero energy, zero waste, and recycle all our water. So every day we get closer to that goal.
Wow.
And that's all good for the environment, but it's also good for the bottom line.
Yeah.
Great.
So there must be some hurdles though in developing these sustainable vertical farms. Like what hurdles are you facing?
The hurdle is doing it.
Doing it.
We're taming nature.
Yes.
Taking nature indoors is a challenge.
Yeah.
And we have some of the best scientists. We work with a group out of University of Arizona, out of Purdue University, out of University of Guelph up in Canada, all tied into NASA, building the growth chambers for the Mars and the lunar mission. Our staff is highly competent. We have some of the best growers and agricultural engineers. So we're constantly improving our system. We've been very humbled by this experience. We're on the tip of the spear of an emerging new market, and we're learning every day. So I imagine within years we'll be able to grow faster, safer, and cheaper.
Now, Robert, do you anticipate any pushback from big agriculture companies out there?
No, because we're not trying to put field farmers out of work.
Yeah.
What we see is farming stratifying, much like automobiles use different levels of fuel these days, fossil fuels, hydrocarbons, diesel, plug-in electric, hybrids, farming stratifying. You're seeing field farms are great for commodity crops, soybean, wheat, corn. Greenhouses are great for tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. We think our farm is great for leafy greens. So we're not trying to put anyone out of business. We're trying to grow sustainably in a very niche, and hopefully others will improve their sustainability of their farming too.
So tell us, what was the thinking behind China? How did that happen? Or why are you there?
Very simple. 1.4 billion people. China's highly polluted. So when we looked at what are the drivers for placing vertical farms, we looked at one, produce has to travel a large distance. Two, you have to have a short growing season. Three, you have to have a large population that is educated and willing to pay for premium produce. And then lastly, a resource-constrained market. Shortage of water, shortage of land, or pollution. California's got a water issue, which makes it an ideal climate. China has heavy pollution. 80% of the uppermost aquifers are impaired in China. The air pollution is rampant and very terrible in many cities. So being able to grow fresh produce indoors and piloting the lettuce market in China is where we have chosen to focus on. We just built our first farm. It opened 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
We have 20 more on the books, and that'll barely make a dent in the Chinese population.
Yeah, big opportunity.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Robert, for coming. That was a great pitch.
It's my pleasure, and I appreciate what you're doing. We think crowdfunding really democratizes the capital markets, and it's great to have an alternative source of funding out there.
Amen, brother.
Thank
We
you,
love it.
Robert.